Morning YouTube. Today I've got this for you. It's my new bike light for the rear of the bike. It's a Lezyne Strip Drive Pro 300. Lezyne have upgraded to this model from the Strip Drive 150. They've doubled the lumens output. However, I do find that 300 number is slightly misleading, as the only time you're going to see 300 lumens out of this is on a daylight flash mode, which is fair enough, but I just find it misleading. I've picked this up to replace my old light, which got some water ingress in it and became unreliable. I actually have a video on the old light. It's the Moon Shield Auto X. It's ran quite reliably in the back of the bike for a couple of years now, and it's got some water ingress and started to go downhill. It became unreliable and had to be replaced, so this is its replacement. Hopefully this is going to be more weather sealed. As you can see, it's only been on the bike a couple of weeks. It's already covered in salt and grit and all sorts of stuff, and it's held up quite well. Obviously it's only been a couple of weeks. We'll see how that lasts a couple of years. The main reason you'll be watching this video is to find out the run times and the battery life, so I'll get straight to that. On a solid beam, the maximum this light will output is 50 lumens. At that setting, Lezyne claim you'll get 2 hours to a battery charge. I haven't tried that, haven't used it in that mode, so I couldn't say. Useful feature if you're riding in heavy fog, I suppose. The second solid mode down from that will give you 25 lumens at 4 hours. I'm not going to go through all the modes because there's quite a few and it's just going to get confusing, so I'll just give you the main ones. In standard flash mode, I say standard flash mode as this on-off pattern, the maximum output will be 35 lumens and you'll get 4 hours to a battery charge on that. I can confirm that you'll get very close, if not more than 4 hours on that, as I've done it. When I say I've achieved that, I've had 3 hours 45, 3 hours 50 out of that. That's the mode I use. I couldn't run it all the way to 0 as I had to use it the next day and I needed some charge in the battery, so I had to put it on charge. It does have a really useful feature which I think should be standard on all rear lights, as when the battery gets really low it drops into a lower output flash mode, just as an emergency get you home measure. From a safety standpoint, I think that should be a standard feature in all lights, all rear lights anyway. And then it moves on to a few sort of offset flash modes, where it's like a sort of random pattern. It doesn't just flash all the LEDs on and off. And then onto your daylight flash modes. You have a daylight flash pulse of 150 lumens and a daylight flash pulse of 300 lumens. There's also an ultra endurance flash mode of 5 lumens, which I think will give you 14 hours, but in my opinion that's mostly useless, as yeah, it'll last for 14 hours, but it's only outputting 5 lumens. I think you'd be better off with a battery operated flasher, like a little cheap one, if you're looking to run a light for that period of time. Good points. The light seems very, very solid. Plastic lens at the front, body's all rubber, everything's sealed up. The charge port especially seems very watertight, very weather sealed. It's just this cap on the bottom that pops off. Industry standard rubber strap to attach to the bike, works very well, feels quite solid, lots of adjustment, especially this groove at the back of the light body, as you can see there. It's quite flexible. It attaches to my seat post, which is a standard round seat post, and it will attach, I'd imagine, to an aero seat post even better, although I haven't tried that. But when it's attached to the bike, it's really secure. You don't feel it's going to fall off. I don't worry about it when it's on, so that's a good point. The operation of the light's a bit fiddly because of all the run modes. However, it does have mode memory, so it will remember the last setting you set it to, and when you switch it on, it will go straight back to that, regardless if it's been charged. Some Lezyne lights will reset themselves if they're in between charges. This one doesn't, which is a good point. So basically, if you're like me and you only use one mode, you can access that straight away when you turn it on. Long press to switch the light on. single click to move through the modes, and long press to switch it off. Can't get any simpler. Now, bad points. Battery life indicator. As I've found on all Lezyne lights that I've used anyway, the battery life indicator is basically useless. It comes on prematurely, around about 75% of the battery's life remaining, and obviously will stay on all the way down to 0. Now, in my opinion, it's useless it's useless having a battery indicator that comes on at 75% and is the same all the way to 0, because you could be looking, I'll show you, if we click this, see that little red light in there, it's telling me the battery's low. Now it could be between 75% and 5%, so it's hard to gauge. So you basically just have to charge it and use it and sort of remember how long you've used it for. It does give you that in use as well. So when the battery's fully charged, you switch it on. On a flash mode, you're just going to get a standard flash. When the battery indicator is active, you'll get in between flashes, one of the LEDs will remain lit. I suppose it's quite useful in letting you know that the indicator's on, but again, the indicator itself is largely useless due to the fact, again, it comes on prematurely. The charge port, it might just be a personal thing, but to me, I don't like it, as it doesn't charge with a wire, it plugs directly into your adapter. Now, if you're like me and you use mobile phone adapters to charge your lights, at least mine, I've found that when that's plugged in correctly, the light faces down or towards the wall, which means I can't see the charge indicator. So I don't know if it's charging, and I don't know if it's fully charged. To me, it's just annoying. I'd rather charge with a proper USB cable, and it limits your options on the bike as well. So if you're riding long distance and you need to charge this up in between use, it won't charge up in situ. Now I suppose you could use a USB to USB cable if you really wanted to, but it's quite large compared to a standard micro USB cable, or you'd have to remove the light and charge it in your saddlebag or something like that. To me, I'd just rather use a standard micro USB cable. But anyway, I suppose it's quite a small thing, and charging on the bike is still possible, if a little annoying. Other than that, there are no real bad points. I'll give you a quick run through of the light. As I say, long press to turn on. We'll go straight back to the start and run through from there. That's 50 lumens solid. Again, you're looking at about 2 hours to a battery charge with that one. 25 lumens solid. 4 hours to a battery charge. That's the flash mode I use. That's 35 lumens. 4 hours battery to a battery. And then it goes into random flash pulses. As you can see, a little bit of disco lights for you there. Down to a chaser, and I believe that's the 5 lumens output chaser. And that obviously will have a very long corresponding battery life. Again, there's another 5 lumen output, just lighting one LED at a time. Again, this may be something that's useful to you, but I find it largely useless, as I do most of my riding in traffic, and I need something a bit brighter than that on the back of the bike. The first of the daylight flash pulses, 150 lumens. I do like the way it has some fill-in flashes there of a lower intensity. It's probably going to really catch your eye out on the road. As you can see, it's totally flaring the camera out when it does that. And the brighter 300 lumen flash, which actually in the camera appears less bright, but there we go. And again, long press to turn off. And that's the Lezyne Strip Drive Pro 300. Any questions, leave them in the comments, and I try to answer every one. Try and get back to you. Thanks for watching.